Throw it down, big man.
Welcome everybody back to the Throw It Down Big Fella podcast. I am your man, Greg Rufus. My co-host Darren is a little bit late. I don't know if he's going to be able to join us tonight, but it's all good. I'll be able to hold it down for you guys for this episode. Let's start off by saying this. Rest in peace to O.J. Simpson. Of course, he passed away this morning. Well, it was last night. We got the news this morning. It was He died of a cancer he had back then. So just RIP OJ Simpson, 76 years old. What a it's very controversial. I mean, you think about OJ, the football player, you think about OJ, the commentator after football. He was the first 2,000-yard rusher. He only played 14 games back then. So, and of course, everybody knows about the double murder, acquitted in 1994. Just a lot of just controversy, but of course, you feel for the family of OJ. Send our thoughts and prayers to them. But OJ is a very complex man. I did two essays on the guy. I did two essays on the man when I was in one in college and one in high school. He's a very complex guy, but I sent here at Throw It Down Big Fella, we sent our condolences to O.J. Simpson and his family, and just a very interesting loss that we had today. So thoughts and prayers with O.J. Simpson. Let's congratulate South Carolina women Gamecocks for winning the NCAA tournament championship. Shout out to Donna Staley and them. They dominated Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark still had a good game, but she's on to bigger and better things. She'll be in WNBA. She'll be playing in the Big Three with Ice Cube. So shout out to them. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Also shout out to UConn dominating against Purdue in the men's championship game. That's back to back for Dan Hurley and them. So congratulations to them. Zach Eaton had a good game. Of course, he's going to be in the NBA draft. So just shout out to those two franchises, UConn and the UConn men and the South Carolina women Gamecocks. All right. Let's do some while we're just doing recapping and all. Let's recap a little bit of WrestleMania 4 to you guys. That was one of the best WrestleManias we have ever seen. It was just unbelievable. Saturday night, Sunday night. Saturday, of course, you had Jada, Bianca, I'm missing Jada, Bianca, and Naomi. They defeated the Damage Control. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable match. Of course, seeing three African American women in a ring, that was unbelievable. The main event of Saturday night, of course, The Rock and Roman Reigns defeated Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, which we predicted, me and Darren, we predicted that result. And it led up into Sunday. Sunday, a lot of championship changes happened. Of course, Saturday as well with the Saturday not so much, but Sunday you had the tag team championships, the Raw new tag team championships, The Miz and R-Truth, and also for SmackDown you had Waller and Austin Theory. So of course Sunday you had Bayley. She's a new women's champion. That was a good match. Shout out to Bayley. Of course you had Logan Paul retain his title. And that was a surprise as well. So shout out to Logan Paul. That was a good match. Trying to think, was there another? Oh, I'm sorry for Saturday night. Sami Zayn defeated Gunther. What? That was shocking. That was like, wow, that actually happened. Sami Zayn actually won that. So shout out to Sami Zayn. Gunther had the longest Intercontinental Championship reign. That's demolished. So that was a great match as well. Shocked me, shocked a lot of other people as well. And of course, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. Of course, Seth was beat up because of what happened Saturday night. And so he had a match with Drew McIntyre Sunday. He lost. But who comes out of nowhere? Damian Priest comes in and cashes in his contract and defeats Drew McIntyre with a little help with CM Punk, by the way. But Damian Priest is the new World Heavyweight Champion. And of course, it leads up to the main event of them all, the creme de la creme, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. You had it all. You had an appearance by The Rock, of course, the final boss. You had John Cena, and you had The Undertaker, which the lights come on, you hear the bell, dun dun, is over. And so you had all that. Of course, you had the Usos come in as well. Um, it was a great match. And of course, we have a new world heavyweight champion, undisputed champion. I'm sorry, Cody Rhodes. So that was just it was unbelievable. What a fitted way to end WrestleMania 40. A lot of stars were there, a lot of celebrities were there, from Snoop Dogg, 2 Chainz, Wale, Drewski. It was a epic event unlike any other. So shout out to all those who watch WrestleMania 40. I was one of them. Excuse me, and I'm just excited to see what the future holds with Cody Rhodes as the guy. And shout out to Roman Reigns, the longest undisputed championship reign in WWE history. Shout out to Roman Reigns. But it's a new era with Triple H, so we'd like to see willing to see what's going to happen moving forward with WWE. Okay, you guys, let's do a little NBA action. Of course, this is the last week of the NBA season. Of course, if you're looking at the standings right now in the West, the 10th seed and 9th seed. So basically, the Warriors and Lakers have already guaranteed they're going to be in play-in. Now, we don't know if it's going to be still 9, 10, 8, 7, but those two have already been locked in seeding wise. And I'm going to pull this up as well, and I'm also going to full screen this. Of course, right now, currently, the Denver Nuggets are the number 1 seed. Number 2 right now currently is Oklahoma City. Number 3, Minnesota. What's locked right now for the NBA playoffs next week will be the 4 seed LA Clippers and the 5 seed Dallas Mavericks. That's going to be a doozy. That's going to be one hell of a first round. I can't wait to see that. Currently, right now, the 6 seed New Orleans, and like I said, 7 seed Phoenix, 8 seed Sacramento, 9, 10 Golden State. It could be determined for these last 2 games who gets who from 6 to 10. So, of course, when all this is breakdown, when this is final, like all the scenes are final, and also, let me go ahead and go to the East as well. Boston already has number 1 seed locked in. Milwaukee 2, New York 3, Cleveland 4, Orlando 5, Indiana 6, 7 right now. Philadelphia, look out now. Joel Embiid is back. They are a dangerous team. 8 seed Miami, and you can already just guarantee looking at 9 and 10 Chicago and Atlanta, they're going to play each other in that 9-10 matchup. So, of course, the NBA season ends on Sunday. To be determined who plays who, but once everybody plays who, we're gonna break down exactly who's gonna play who in the NBA playoffs. Me and my boy Darren, we're gonna break that down to y'all next week. So y'all just get prepared for the excitement and the drama that is the NBA playoffs. We cannot wait to see what happens. Okay, you guys. Let's get to this beef. Let's get into J.Cole versus Kendrick versus Drake. It's been steaming, it's been brewing for weeks now. But J.Cole was on his Dreamville festival this past weekend and basically apologized for his behavior. He came out with a surprise mixtape, Might Delete Later. Came out with that this past Friday. And he had a track on there, 7-minute drill, his last track of the mixtape, and it was a couple shots at Kendrick, and so it didn't sit well with him. Basically, like he said on the Dreamville tour festival, didn't sit right with him. So he apologized to Kendrick Lamar and said, "You could help me. You could just take your best shot at me. I'm out of this. I don't want to do this no more. I'm trying to be in line with God, and it's the mature thing to do." So a question I have is for you guys as well. Does this hurt or help J. Cole's legacy? I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I feel like it was a mature thing. We never really see maturity in hip hop, especially black men and their mental health. And for J. Cole to sit here and say it affected my mental and it didn't sit well with me, my spirit and my God and with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I have to, I have to side with him on that because you rarely see black men, especially when black men know, that certain things that they do or say can hurt them, and they're trying to get a better soul and try to be a better person. So I applaud J. Cole for saying that, doing that. It takes a lot of maturity, but at the same time, he called himself the Muhammad Ali of rap on him and Drake's first person shooter. He's like, I'm the guy, I'm the killer, I'm the main guy, I'm number one uno. Now him doing this and him backing out, I feel like you can't really call yourself that. You can't really say that and then back out of a challenge of Kendrick Lamar's status. So, I respect J. Cole's decision for doing what he did. But I feel like this definitely hurts his legacy. I feel like it takes a back seat to Kendrick Lamar being that type of guy and being the killer MC that he is. And it kind of opens the door for Drake. I mean, I'm a Drake fan, but I've never put Drake ahead of J. Cole or Kendrick. I never really they're on two different levels, them two. Now I feel like the door is open for Drake to possibly sneak in number two. I'm not gonna say number one over Kendrick, but it definitely opens that door for Drake to say, "Hey, maybe I could be in the category for Killer MC." Maybe so. Now they're saying that Drake could possibly respond to Kendrick by Friday. This coming up Friday, there might be a diss track, diss verse, album, whatever. Something's coming in direction to Kendrick. That will interesting. That would be an interesting take if that were to happen. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Does he respond? I feel like this is a career defining moment for Drake. He has to respond to Kendrick. Kendrick has come in at his throat for years. You can even go back to the swimming pool song. No, not the swimming pool. Poetic Justice. I'm sorry. Poetic Justice when him and Kendrick had they were on the same track together. And I do they really like each other back then? I don't know, but you could kind of tell tension wise, like, do they really rock with each other? They do all this, and Kendrick's been already doing subliminal shots and doing this and that. So it will be interesting to me as a Drake fan and many other Drake fans. Does he respond to Kendrick? He needs to respond to Kendrick? There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It doesn't matter how long. It doesn't matter if, when, you got to respond to him. He's come at you for years now, close to a decade. It feels like Drake. You got to respond, and so it'd be interesting to see if it's tomorrow, like Joe Budden said tomorrow. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with the Drake and Kendrick thing because J. Cole took himself out of the equation. So it'll be interesting to see on that. Um, so I want to talk about the City Girl thing, but I'm not really as informed as I should be on it. All I know is I believe JT of the City Girls went at Gorilla. Gorilla, her album is really, really good, you guys. If you have not or mixtape, if you have not heard her mixtape, it is so good. You guys gotta check that out. Memphis represent. She was on Club Shay Shay. I think she's on Pivot as well with Ryan Clark. Shout out to those guys as well. Gorilla's doing the thing. So shout out to her. She's representing Memphis as well. And then I heard the City Girls was beefing them two. I just beef today is not what it used to be, and I want to and it's something like I said, we're gonna have a deep discussion about hip hop, the state of hip hop, and why beefs are not what they used to be compared to what they are today with my co-host Darren. We gotta break this down because hip hop is changing. We know this, as old heads of hip hop who've been around since the 90s and early 2000s, even 2000. Like it's just not what it used to be. So it'll be interesting to see the take on hip hop and just why it's not what it used to be and what can possibly change. I'm a hip hop fan. I can be R&B guy too, but I love hip hop. So I'm just interested. It's interesting to see what can hip hop do to get back that beef, like rah rah, like MC versus MC. Your lyrics are better than my lyrics type of hip hop. I really want to see that. And just to mention J. Cole thing, it's like we could have. It's one of those you always get personal with MCs. You always get personal with those with one-on-one battles. You always get that. But can we get back to that? Of course, J. Cole bowed out respectfully. It's his decision. He could have he can do what he wants to do. He has the power to do that. That's J. Cole. Let's not get it twisted. He's one of those guys. So moving forward, I don't know. It's an interesting conversation with me and my co-host Darren, or maybe my boy Fred. He wants to get into the discussion too, but we could definitely have a discussion about hip hop and what needs to be changed moving forward for years to come. All right, you guys. Without further ado, that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on today, and hopefully next week, my co-host Darren and I will break down the NBA playoffs. With final seedings, like I said, will be there. Who will play who, and also any other sports topics that come up. Please, you guys, please subscribe, like this page. Show us some love. Throw it down, big fella, some love. Big day, big week is coming up next week, you guys. A big ceremony I have. Me and my lovely wife we're already married, but we're having a big ceremony on 420. So I got all that wrapped up in my head as well. That's going to be an amazing, lovely day. Sharing that day with me and my beautiful wife. So it'll be exciting, you guys. So without further ado, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys next week. Until then, peace out.
Throw it down, big man.